Greetings and felicitations once again, fellow modelers, and welcome to my little part of the galaxy. I've got a lot in store for you today. I had one of my friends ask me, Joe, I want to see some of the meat and potatoes modeling. So I'm going to show meat and potatoes modeling and a whole bunch of other stuff. We're going to touch on some card models. We're going to touch on some photography stuff. We're going to touch on a couple of things we spoke about in previous movies. And we're going to play a little show and tell. I'm also going to do a whole lot of kit reviews. Boom, boom, boom. One right after another. So you're going to get a lot in this one video. I hope you like it. I hope you have fun. We're having fun. Okay, first I want to talk about cardstock models. All right? This is nothing but a piece of 110-pound cardstock with a pattern printed on it. I developed this pattern out of a video game model that my friend Laz Rojas created. And it's nothing but a TMP work bee. Not only am I going to create this, but because I hear so much from regular modelers about card models, I'm going to really detail this. I'm going to light it. I'm going to put it in front of a green screen. And I'm going to fool you into thinking that it is in space. All right? Going to cut out all the little X's and put windows in it, the whole bit. Okay, now here's another model, another product and or model that I've been working on for a while now. This is USS Equinox, a Nova-class starship. I've got the tape on here to hold down the copper wire, and I'm doing this for a reason. Put the tape on to hold the copper wire. You rub the copper wire until it builds up a little friction. The friction causes heat. The heat causes it to hold position so that when you remove one end of the tape, you can very easily super glue the copper down. Remove the other end of the tape, super glue the copper down, then shoot it with primer, and it looks like it was made with part of the ship. There may be a little sanding and touching up. But that's where we're at now. In the next video, we're going to add some more detail to the top and the bottom. And this is going to look sweet. I've already got decals and everything made up for this. I'm going to do this in clear cast. And my buddy Steve Neal, really wanted one of these. So he's going to be the first one to get one pro bono from me to Steve. There you go, Steve. Also, let's talk about some filming stuff and other things. All right, backlit panels. Easy to make, easy to do. I was going to make this for a friend of mine, Darren Sexton. I don't know what happened to him. He dropped off the planet. Anyway, all I did was print this up on transparency. This is his LCARs. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it on this piece of plastic that I got out of, I don't know, some kind of shipping box or container or something. Sand this with 400 grit. Put a different frame around it so that it's totally blacked out. And backlight it with either LEDs or a fluorescent light. Now, that's one thing. Here's another. You see these? Folder dividers. Color-coded folder dividers. Guess what these can be used for? That's right. Film filters. You can stack these up, mix and match, shine your light through the film filter, and you will get the same kind of effect or similar that you see in Star Trek. That's a quickie little thing there. Little point of interest. Little something not everybody knows. You see this? This is Rolux Illusion film. This is exactly the same material that was used on the original Star Trek for the transporter screen, the background pattern, and in a couple of the turbo lifts. One side or the other, I think, was right and back and behind. Now things changed a little bit from season to season, as everybody knows. This is the same stuff. This goes with my original series props. I've been looking for a couple of guys to get together with me and get a full order of this stuff so I can build a one-to-one personal transporter. So if you're interested, let me know. All right. Now, you see this? This is what I was talking about, saving your stuff. This came in a package for Fusion Pro Glide razors. I can use that for windows for something like this. Okay, never throw your bubble blister packs or bubble wrap or whatever. Don't throw all this stuff away. This comes in real handy. Now, let's touch a bit on brass etch. Now, a while back, I went to a couple of different people and tried to get a quote on what it would cost to get a demo on some brass etch. They literally floored me when they said between $300 and $500 for a brass etch pattern. If I wanted to go into production and make brass etch parts, okay, they wanted $300 for development. So I'm here to show you how to do it yourself. Real simple. ABC 1, 2, 3. With the caveat that you should be warned that the chemical used is ferric chloride. And unless you're an adult or you're under adult supervision, don't try this, because it will screw up everything it touches. You will get a black mess. Okay, here's what you do. Step number 1. Now this can be used for circuit boards or brass etch. Now, in the video about the refit, I spoke about some patterns that were going to be brass etch for the 50-inch refit. Here are those patterns. These are the nacelle details. You know what the rest of this is. I don't have to tell you. Shuttle bay doors, etc., etc. Okay? Now, this is the stuff you buy. Right here. I get this, and it's called printed circuit board transfer film, press and peel. Okay? Easy hobby quality PC boards, high precision, professional PC layouts, print, copy, peel on. All right. What you do is you buy this stuff. I've got some, it's blue, it's about this color blue, about that color blue. You have your pattern printed on the film. You put your you put the film over your brass. You run it through a laminator to make sure that you get a good firm transfer of the film. After it's gone through the laminator, you put it in ferric chloride in a glass container in an area of your garage or even outside in your yard, a workspace, so that you don't make a mess in the house. This stuff, the ferric chloride, will eat away the brass, and the only thing that you'll be left with is your pattern that I showed you earlier. Okay, now I've got an example of that, which I've already showed right here. Okay, you see this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 little impulse crystal patterns out of one little bitty piece. Now I can do several sets of brass etch relatively cheap. The transfer film is 12 bucks. I think this was about $5. Let's see, no, $2.29. K&S Engineering, $2.29. And 1 or 2 pieces in there, maybe 1. It's 5 thousandths thick. So you've got $12 plus $2.29, plus your laminator, plus your ferric chloride, which was about 13 bucks. So you haven't even got 20 bucks into it yet, and you can print a dozen patterns. Now think about that. And they wanted to charge me $300 or $500 to even get a demo. That's why I do my own stuff. I'm just not going to pay somebody $300 to do something I can do myself. Not going to happen. Now, I wanted to show you a few other things I had laying around here, part of my Star Trek collection. Here we go, signed autographed copy of Spock print. Nice. I got this from a friend of mine named Lance, who I'm building a refit for. He gave me all of these. And of course, we've got Mr. Scott. Aye, sir. I'm giving her all she's got, Captain. We got Mr. Chekhov. I believe it was invented in Russia. And we've got Marina Sirtis. Yeah, baby. Unfortunately, Jolene Blaylock did not, as yet, sign this. All right, here's yet another little transfer. But in fact, I used this for a small scale model of a Star Trek Original Series monitor that I mocked up. Again, the little CG model came from Laz Rojas. Thank you, Laz. This is a 12500 TOS Enterprise. I will never again spend $28 on 3 of these little ships. I'm sorry, Polar Lights, but give me a freaking break. $28, almost 30 bucks. Half of a tank of gas, or a full tank of gas almost, in the Ford Focus. For a couple of little bitty, oh, come on, come on. All right, got a lot more coming. I'm getting ready to go out to the garage and do some stuff. Then I'm going to come back, do the conclusion, and show some pictures either right before or right after the credits. I hope you have fun. I put a lot into this one video. Anyway, see you later. Well, folks, here we are in the garage again. This is workbench number 3. And I'm going to talk about several things rapid fire really quick. First of all, a quick review of the Pegasus kit with the Alpha Centauri UFOs. Love it. Great little kit. 28 bucks, little pricey for the size, but you get 2 little kits, or 2 little saucers, 2 little guys, and all the stuff that goes with it. Good, crisp, clean parts, easy to follow directions, easy to build kit. I recommend it. That is, if you like UFOs at all. Okay, I love these little guys. I think they're funny. I love aliens and all that stuff that goes with it. Now, this is the ship that I showed 2 videos ago. Okay, this is one of the old testers kits that I bought online for a penny. Now, I'm going to use this kit to make a big version of one of these, only with slight modifications. I'm going to take a 3-inch hole saw and cut this out, build up under a wall around it, inside, and a backing plate, and scratch build some of these little legs. They will appropriately be sized for this. Now, I haven't quite figured out exactly what I'm going to do with the top, but I am going to modify it in some way. Now, if you look at the top of this, this looks almost like the top of a space station, doesn't it? Thoughts for future kit bashes. Now, when I bought this kit, it was pretty rough looking, and I've hit it with about 3 or 4 coats of gray primer, as you can see. Now, I pulled it apart to do just exactly what I'm doing now. When I pulled it apart, I discovered that there were a couple of cracks, I guess you can see that, and a hole, and some little greeblies that didn't need to be there. So I'm going to use some 3M spot putty right there, go over the outside after I epoxy with the 2-part binary epoxy on the inside. This will give me a smooth surface where the cracks and the holes are. Now on this, of course, naturally, I'm going to cut all this out after it's all reinforced. I also plan on creating some kind of gangway like you see in Mars Attacks for the little brain aliens to come down. I'm going to put a gangway on here, and I'm going to put like 3 designs equally spaced on the bottom hull, and I've got some ribs and some stuff I want to do on the top of the hull. I want to add some detail to this otherwise plain kit. Now, I've got these little guys, 1/25th scale figures that went with the Ford Futura, which originally became the Batman car or whatever. I'm gonna make molds of these, cast them, and resculpt them and turn them into astronauts, or at least I'm gonna try. Let's put it that way. Now, all that in 2 little kits. More to come. We'll be right back. Okay, here we go. Here's my old B9 robot kit. Oh, I've had this thing sitting on the shelf forever. And I saw Simon Merckx the other day said he got a press kit on the new Mobius Models B9 robot. Naturally, that inspired me to come out here and start fiddling with this. Now this is dirty and dusty because it's been sitting out here for a while, but I'm going to clean this up, clean up the paint, and I'm going to create my own voice circuit for this and do exactly what the circuit that Simon described in his video. When the robot speaks, the output of the speaker is going to go directly into an amplifier and an LED so that his light will light up with the rising and lowering amplitude of the signal going to the speaker. So that's going to be cool. Now I've got one thing I've got to fix on here, and I want to scratch build. I want to take these and I want to build accurate maws or hands or whatever you want to call them. I want to build accurate versions of those that are at the proper angle and shaped correctly. And I've been thinking about coming up with something different for these, but I might just go with it as it is. I did think about getting into making the limbs move as the robot said danger, danger, but I don't think I'm going to get that involved. I just don't have the time. Anyway, that's the old robot, so it's going to see some action here pretty soon. Now I'm going to go on to the next kit. And here we are. Here's two more Mobius kits. I love the Mobius kits. I gotta tell you, I'm loving the Mobius kits. Now I've got both the Bride of Frankenstein and the Bela Lugosi as Broadway's Dracula. I've been painting the figures. At the end of the credits or after the credits, I will show some pictures that show some of the paintwork that I've done thus far. You can see that I've painted both of the model bases. And I've done some detailing and added a couple of things to give it a little more life. Now I'm not quite done with either one of these yet, but I did want to show these off for now and brag on Mobius once again. Keep it coming, guys. I'm loving it. Thank you. Thank you very much. And here we have yet another awesome Mobius model kit. Now I bought one of these, and when I got it, I realized that underneath the silver chrome, it was all clear. So I was like, right on. I used some oven cleaner to clean off the chrome, to paint it the way that I wanted to paint it as a Mark II, Mark III, but to also be able to light it and pose it. Now, I looked at all these little locks and whatnot, so they've got it set up so you can only pose this thing one way. Well, I'm cutting off all those little locks, and I'm going to be coming up with a way to pose it the way I want to pose it. As you can see, I've already started detailing the base. Most of the base coat on all the parts is done. Everything's rigged for lighting. Just wanted to show this. I had a friend of mine say, hey, great video, Joe, but I want to see some of the down and dirty modeling. So I'm not only doing kit reviews right now, but I'm showing some of what I've got in progress. The only problem is I've got a couple of guys I'm building models for, and they want their work done now. So this stuff is on the bench, and it will get some attention, each model, as time allows. And look, what do we have here? Yet another Mobius model. Oh my God. Yes, I've already started doing the prep work and the primer on the Iron Man War Machine, Armored Avenger. Woohoo! Now, I'm going to do the same thing with this kit. I'm going to cut all the tabs that keep you from posing it the way you want to pose it. I'm going to try to come up with a way to pose it. But this thing, a lot of the parts interlock over each other, so this is going to be a bit more of a challenge. Also, I'm going to take the white parts that they've got here and make some clear parts for them, so yes, I can light this as well. Oh no, not another Mobius model. Yes, 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 boys and girls, another Mobius model. The Battlestar Galactica Viper. As you can see, I already had this 90% built, and then my guy backed out. So I'm going to clean all this up, print up some new decals, finish this, and I'm going to do it pristine like a brand new ship. I might even send this down to California to my buddy Gabriel Kerner. I know he's been wanting one, so I might just do this up for him. Okay, as you can see, I've puttied up the cracks and the holes, or at least most of them for now. As I stated earlier in the movie, I've also epoxied underneath. You can't see that because I can't move them right now. But I'll get back to these, and my next couple of videos are going to be about the build-ups that I'm doing for a few friends. That's going to include that Polar Lights refit, a Dreadnought based on the Polar Lights kit, and two, count them, two original series builds. One is a production version and one is a pseudo pilot version. I think we're going to have fun looking at some of the detail and discussing those kits as soon as I get the time to put the video together. Well, here we are back in the garage. I'm going to be working on the 1-to-1 Cylon. I built this 1-to-1 Cylon out of scratch. I mean, literally, I built it out of a card model that a friend of mine put together, and then I paid another guy to tweak it out, and then I ended up doing some sculpting on it. Now you can see all that in another video. I want to get to what I'm doing right now. I want to make this short and sweet. Here we have two equal size containers with 1-to-1 binary components each. They have not been mixed yet. Here's the stuff that I use. This is cheap. The guy's a great guy to deal with. Raw material supplier. Got a good price on everything. Now, take a little all-purpose spray adhesive, spray it onto the jawline like I did, pre-cut your fiberglass pieces, your mesh, mix up your resin, and apply your resin after you've placed all your mesh in place and overlapped it. Now this is fast cast resin, so I don't have time to try to hold the camera and do it because it'll harden up before I know it. Anyway, I'm going to show you in just a minute how quick and easy, down and dirty this is. Oh, that's an old fiberglass engineering haul from the 1/350th original series ship. I was going to make one custom for a guy, and he backed out, so I'm using it as a headstand. Now you see, the fast cast resin is set up. The fiberglass is holding everything in place. When I swing this around, you can see that the jawline is not going to move. It's not going anywhere, okay? I held this in position as soon as the fast cast resin started setting up. That's why I've got a rubber glove on my hand right now holding the camera, because it's got goo on it. Okay, now I'll fix this, fix the rear, and re-sculpt the visor and the chins and the rest of it. I hope to have this done pretty soon. Actually, this was done once, and I got in and started modifying it, sprayed it with several coats of primer, and unfortunately left it in the weather and went on a trip and came back, and it had been blown all over the yard, and half of it was soaking wet, the part that I didn't have cast in resin. So I'm doing a little reconstruction work on my Cylon. As you can see here, remember in a previous video I talked about 89-cent disposable brushes? Well, there's a little bit of resin left. Now see, I don't have to worry about wasting $5 on a paintbrush. Anyway, there you go. So much for that. We'll visit this another day. Alright, now we're back in the house, and here's the UFO. Now you can see that I've sanded down the putty, and I found that there was a bit of tape here. Peeled the tape off. So I'm going to have to hit this with some primer and go over it again, but you know, no sweat, whatever. Now that's 1, 2, 3 from the last movie. You saw the way it came in, all looking like a mess. And now it's starting to come together, starting to take shape. Now see, stuff is going to look rough once in a while. I mean, it's going to take a while. You can't expect to just pull something out of the box, throw it together, and make it look brilliant. You got to spend a little time with this stuff. Now over here, because I want to maintain the same alignment, what I did is make a couple of black marks at odd angles so that the top matched to the bottom, so I don't constantly have to be worried about exactly where I'm going to place the top while I'm working on the bottom. Okay, we've covered a lot of stuff already. I did want to show you a couple other things. Here is the blue paper. You print this with a laser printer with your pattern. This has got a coffee stain on it, so it's useless. So I'm going to use it for explaining. You print this, put this on the brass, laminate it, put it in the ferric chloride, keep an eye on it, make sure you've got a good, safe workplace. I've had people ask me, how do you keep track of so many things? Engineer's Workbook. I learned about these in the Navy and was reinforced when I was going to college, going through chemistry and going through different labs about keeping notes. Then again, in engineering college, you had to have one of these for almost every class. You take notes in the morning of what you want to do, what your goals are, write everything down, attack them one at a time. When you're done, go to the next set of bullet points for your other model or whatever project you're working on. You keep a lot of things straight. You know right where you're at every day. Another thing every modeler needs, disposable gloves. Great for working with fiberglass, polyurethane, different resins. That way you don't have to pick all the stuff off your fingers and out between your fingernails before you go out to dinner with the wife. Okay, here's some of the brass etch that we made. It was John's pattern. John actually cut this and sent it to me. Now I painted this black. These are the details for the pylon for Lance's refit. These are going to go on the refit. You'll see these in the next build when I show the build-ups I'm doing. I told you I made rub-on decals. Here you go. This is going to go on my big Battlestar Galactica plaque. Black vinyl, easy peasy. Rub it on, peel it off, you're done. Good to go. Some other stuff you might need to think about is strip styrene and different shapes and whatever you need from Evergreen Scale Models. Look them up on the internet. They've got a wide selection of stuff. Now, I'm going to get back to the card model another day because I don't have time today to cut this all up and build it. But we are going to follow up on this because I do want you to see how good you can make one of these look. That's about it for the day. I've got a lot of other stuff to do, and I've got a lot more to show you in the next couple of videos. So, there you go. Take care, keep on trekking. I hope everybody has a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus Day. Whatever you celebrate, I hope you have a happy Hanukkah, Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas, whatever. Happy holidays, enjoy the new year, take care people, keep on trekking. May the force be with you, always.